Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm PPE and this is the Peso Pro episodes where we talk about money management tips and peso tricks. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you a few tips with my main bank. So my main bank is BPI, or the Bank of the Philippine Islands, and I've been with them for I think over a decade, and I've had this love-hate relationship with BPI, but I think they're one of the more stable banks in the country. So I actually personally like that now they're really gearing towards digitization and making transactions a bit more easy, a bit more streamlined, a bit more digital for their consumers. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you 3 tips that I have shared with friends over the past few months, and most of them have been surprised because most of these announcements are done in social media and they're not really pushed to your email. So sometimes you don't get to maximize some of them. I'm also gonna share with you some tips and tricks that I know within the BPI ecosystem so that you can save some money or maybe simplify your life a bit. So without further ado, this is a Peso Pro guide video and we're gonna talk about BPI's 3 new things that you can do in the app or on their website, and we're gonna start right now. So the first one that I want to talk about in this Peso Pro guide is how are you actually going to open a BPI account. So right now, a lot of people, I think more than 80% of the Philippines still does not have a bank account. And that's really a key step towards financial literacy, financial inclusion, and overall financial independence. Kasi mahirap na mag-manage ng pera, whether how small or how big these are, if you don't have the right tools in place. For me, I got into BPI because our company payroll is with this bank, so it just made sense. But for those who don't have a bank account, this is actually a good way for you to get one. So I have a friend who I was working on a project, and I was actually trying to pay him the fees, but the guy didn't have a bank account, and I actually told him na actually pwede kang magbukas ng account via the BPI app without even having to go to a branch, at least initially, up until nakukunin mo na yung ATM mo. But literally, you can open an account with them. So let's start with that. My first tip in this Peso Pro guide is how to open an account online. I wanted to show you the actual steps kung paano natin siya gagawin in the app. However, I already have my own account, so hindi ko na siya magawa. So I think I'm doing the next best thing. Here, we're gonna do very, very basic steps lang. So what you can see is, what you need is the app. So hindi mo siya pwedeng gawin on their bpi.com.ph na website. So, go to the App Store kung iOS or the Google Play Store if you're on Android, and download the BPI app. And what you just need to do is, once you're in the app, you tap on Open a New Account. And there, click on Create a Bank Account. Papipiliin ka niya if you are an existing user of the BPI ecosystem. If you are, then may mga ibang prompts. But if you're new to the bank, select Create a Bank Account. After that, yung step 2 is you fill in your personal account details. So yung name and a few other information, just follow the prompts. They're all very self-explanatory. And ang pinakakailangan lang dito is you will have one government valid ID. This is a base requirement for any bank kasi it's mandated by BSP and the law. So you need one valid ID. For the list of valid IDs, I will link in the description box below yung link ni BPI on what they are approved to accept as a valid government ID so that you can prepare that in advance. So you would need to take a picture of that, so make sure you are in a well-lit room para makuha mo yung picture of the ID front and back. Just follow the prompt because it will tell you how to take a picture of the ID. Then you would also need to take a selfie. So a lot of people have been asking me na, PPE, okay lang ba na mag-selfie sa mga app? Hindi ba to scam or hindi ba to parang weird na bakit ako nag-selfie? So it's actually part of the digital KYC or know your customer, know your client process, because they would need to make sure that you are the person you are saying you are, who is transacting via the app. So in the old world or in the real life branch transaction, kaya ka pinapapupunta sa branch para ma-make sure nila na yung ID at yung tao na nagtatransact pareho. So this selfie actually sort of proves the same thing. So you just need to do the selfie. They will need you to take a picture in a well-lit environment para lang kita agad. And then their algorithms can check the ID and the image that you have uploaded as your selfie. So parang ganun lang. Then you fill in the additional details na required. These are all pretty basic. You should know them because these are your details. And then after that, review your application. It will show a screen of the summarized version of the application details that you have. If may errors, you can go back and edit. If not, click on confirm to create your account. It's as easy as that. And what you just need to do is after that, pag bukas mo na, you will log into the BPI app. Once you go there, go to accounts, and then voila, you have your account. You have your account name and account number. That account number can now literally receive money transfers via InstaPay or GCash to bank, etc. It's really a legit bank account. And you would just need to fund your account for BPI. If you chose the regular savings account, you need a minimum of 3,000 pesos as the minimum maintaining balance. So you just need to fund your account within 7 days. I highly recommend funding it within the day para hindi nyo na makalimutan. If you don't fund your account within the next 7 days, they will delete the account that you created. Right? So right now, since wala ka pang ATM, you can actually fund the account in a few ways. So you can transfer from another bank to your account. If wala kang bank to begin with, you can maybe ask a friend or a family member to send money to your bank account. So may bank account ka na in the app, they can send to that bank account via their bank para mapondohan yung fund mo. That's the easiest way because it's digital. But if you really need to deposit on your own, you can go to any branch or any area na merong CAM or yung cash acceptance machine ng BPI. Ito yung parang gold-colored machine. And you can do a deposit there via cardless deposit. Kailangan mo lang yung account number mo. You don't need an ATM. Because as of this stage, wala ka pang ATM, right? So you go there and you can do that via the machine, or you can just do the regular over-the-counter deposit at your nearest BPI branch. Over-the-counter, may mga charge at that depending on the branch of account. Now, there you go. Now you have a bank account. So it's as simple as that. The whole process takes less than 10 minutes, I think. And so kailangan mo lang na ready ka with the ID, the selfie, and that you have the 3,000 pesos minimum to activate and maintain your account. So you don't go below that kasi may mga fees yun. Then, lastly, if you need an ATM, you just need to go to any BPI branch and request for an ATM to be delivered. I think may lead time lang kasi i-print nila yung card with your name. And then you just go there. They will advise you when your card is ready. And then there's that. You now have an ATM that is linked to your newly created BPI bank account. Super easy. As long as you have a smartphone and internet and a phone number, you're basically good to go. So I hope this helps na people get into banking a bit more because it's actually safer. Banks are insured up to 500k versus like keeping your money in your house na baka makalimutan mo, baka mag-demonetize yung money, baka anayin yung money, right? We've heard about those stories as well. So that's tip number 1 for this video. I hope na if you don't have an account, you can consider. If you're looking for another bank, you can also try looking into BPI because they have very easy ways to open an account with them. So that's number 1. Now, for those naman na meron ng BPI account, what happens is if you want to maybe, for example, transfer, right? Kasi meaning, sometimes, kung may BPI account ka na, gusto mo mag-transfer into another account. Now, you can do this via InstaPay and PesoNet, but now you realize na if you're transferring BPI to BPI, that whole process is actually quite simple, but now meron ng medyo may mga rules na. So, I'm just talking about BPI to BPI accounts. If you want to transfer from one BPI to another BPI account, that is actually with a fee. I think 10 pesos or 15 pesos if I'm not mistaken per transaction. So you can still do it. Lalagay mo lang yung account in the app, and it's still subject to the 50,000 limit. Now, there's a tip for you to avoid the 15 peso fee. You just need to transfer money via a QR code. So if mag-transfer ka to another BPI account, ask the person to give you his or her QR code. And instead of encoding the account number, iscan mo yung QR code or i-upload mo yung QR code sa website if you're using the desktop version. And then that will be a free transfer. So that's one tip, right? It's still subject to the 50,000 limit. Ito yung catch. If you want to transfer bigger amounts, if you want, say, for example, kailangan mo mag-transfer ng, I don't know, 100,000 pesos. Typically, what people think is they would need to transfer multiple times. So there are actually a few ways to do it, right? One is you can create a different account, meaning magdadagdag ka ng account online. So how do you do that? So right now, a lot of people I know, meron silang only one BPI account. So you can actually follow the same steps. Instead of create a new bank account though, or like I'm new to BPI, you just select the option of I want to create an additional bank account. You typically will follow the same process. Wala lang yung KYC o selfie kasi meron ka ng account na existing. And then in the same process, you can actually create a second account. Or if I'm right, you can create up to 5 more accounts. So this is good if you follow the JAR budgeting system, or if you want to, for example, save for a specific purpose. You can create multiple BPI accounts. Lalabas sila lahat sa My Accounts mo. And you can actually treat them as several parang mga wallets or mga envelopes if you're using that method. So it's good to manage money. And it's also one way to work around the 50,000 limit, because the 50,000 limit per day is actually per account. So pwede kang mag-transfer if say gumawa ka ng 5. Then you can transfer 50,000 pesos from one account, and then 50,000 sa next, 50,000 sa next. So you can transfer a maximum of 250 per day. Medyo matrabaho lang, but at least you're able to do it all within the app without having to go to a branch. So very, very easy. I think it's still okay as a workaround kasi gagawin mo lang naman siya sa app. Medyo paulit-ulit nga lang siya, right? But there's a last, and that's actually the big tip that I want to share with you on this video. If you don't want to do all that, you can actually enroll a third-party account. So what does that mean? In your transfer, makikita mo na meron ng ways to actually transfer to an enrolled third-party account. The good thing about enrolled third-party BPI account, so BPI to BPI pa rin, is that the account number and account details, account name, are all saved in your profile already. So, hindi mo na kailangan i-input every time. So, ang importante doon is at least lesser chances na magkamali ka doon sa account details, right, when you transfer. So what you can do is you can enroll third-party accounts. Now, before, for those who have been with BPI long enough, you will remember that this used to be gagawin mo online, you sign something, go to a branch, and actually submit the form. So medyo matrabaho kasi pupunta ka talaga sa branch to do it. They've now actually changed how you can enroll a third-party BPI account in the mobile app. So you just need to download or update the BPI app to the latest version para ma-activate tong method na to. But the great thing here is you can actually create a third-party BPI account enrollment all fully digitally. So, kailangan nyo lang i-follow yung steps in this video. Don't worry, I will put timestamps so that you can refer back to the right start. But basically, you will just need to open your BPI, log into it, and then kailangan lang follow yung steps on the video that I'm showing right now. So, as you put in here, you log into the BPI account, you go to Other Services, and you click on Manage Biller and Payees. And you tap on Add New Recipient sa pinakataas. And then you fill in the details, yung name, yung number, relationship, and purpose. You review the details after you click on Next. And if it is correct, you click on Confirm. Then, you confirm it using your mobile key or an OTP if hindi nyo pa na-set up yun. And basically, that's it. Right? Lalabas siya as a third-party, enrolled third-party account immediately after that. So, give it a few minutes to refresh. And you can now transfer to an enrolled third-party account. Ano ba yung benefits of doing it? The benefits are two things. One, hindi mo na kailangan ulit-ulitin. So, is-select mo na siya from the drop-down pick list. And then second, wala na siyang bayad. So, the 15 peso fee goes away. And yung pinaka-winner is if you're doing big transactions, you can actually pay, I think, in the millions. Parang hindi ko alam if there's an actual limit, but I've tried big amounts, like big 6-digit amounts to a third party, and it has gone through without a hitch. So, I'm pretty sure you can transfer big amounts na parang at least up until the millions, even to a third-party enrolled na BPI account without too much hassle. And you can do that within the same day from just one account. Di mo kailangan is-split. So it's a great way, especially if you're paying big transactions. And it's also a secure way because at least na-try na yung third party na na-enroll na siya, so the details are already consistent in your BPI app. So it's a good tip. I don't think a lot of people know this, so kudos to BPI for making this super simple versus the old method that they had. So hopefully you learned a thing or two. This is now, I think, BPI's push to digitize a bit more. I know some other banks have similar kinds of mga features, and that's good, right? Because then most of them will introduce a lot of these features over time into their apps, making it easy for all of us. So if you are still looking for a bank to transact with, I think BPI is one solid choice. And it has its pros and cons, but it has worked for me over the past decade. So I highly encourage you to check this out. It's super easy. You just need your phone. You can open a bank account. You can add another account to your total portfolio. And you can enroll third-party BPI accounts so that you don't have to worry about transaction limits and also fees, so you can save on those transfers. If this video was of value to you and if you feel like a person needs this, please forward to a friend so that we can raise financial literacy in the Philippines and also drive some financial inclusion. And if you want to learn more about things like this or mga guides, mga tips and tricks, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are notified when new videos are up. For now, I leave you with these two videos right here. Please do click on them so that you can learn more about personal finance. Take care and stay safe.